Oh, we just took something big. It's a big bass. It's a big bass. What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different than what I normally do. A little fishing challenge today. So I'm back here at a lake that I've tried to fish a few times before in the past, and while I've never been skunked here, I've also never really had like a great day here. It's one of those types of lakes, you know, caught some small bass, and I think that's mostly it. Maybe one bluegill out of here, a perch at some point, but really not much going on here. It definitely gets some pressure, kind of a trickier spot, basically. Last time I was here, I kind of went for bass, went for big fish, and didn't have much to show for it. Just like caught a couple of little dinky bass, I think. But also that day, I saw a big school of panfish, some kind of panfish in here. I think they were probably bluegill or some other sort of sunfish, most likely bluegill. Maybe 20 or 30 fish, and they were good sized. And you know, I casted some smaller lures at them and couldn't get them to bite, but I kind of learned, even though that wasn't a good day of fishing, that there was a population of like bigger sized bluegill in the lake. This was back in the fall when I was here last. So I thought, why not come back here with like some ultralight rods, some bait finesse gear. That's what I've got with me today. 2 ultralight spinning setups and then a BFS setup, and try to target those panfish. And to help me do that today, I've got this little mystery bag right here. This world famous grab bag. This one is supposed to be for crappie. I got this at a fishing show back in the winter. And basically the challenge today is try to use something in this bag to kind of help us catch fish. Now, I'm not necessarily going to stick strictly to stuff that's in here because, well, first off, this is only like $3, and just from kind of feeling it, it seemed like there's probably only like 2 to 4 items in here. So I don't want to necessarily handicap myself too much, especially since this is like a trickier lake. But yeah, I don't know what's in here. Like I said, this one's for crappie. I think there was a bass one and a bluegill one and maybe a trout one as well. But yeah, just $3, you know. I just thought, why not try it out, make a little video about it. So I'm gonna open this thing up and let's see what's inside and if it can really help us today or not. Let's see here. Okay, this is a good first item right here, guys. Just a pack of jig heads. Not sure if you guys can. There we go. I think these are, it's not labeled, maybe 132s or 116s. I think 132s. But these could definitely come into play today. You should be able to rig up something on this and use these. So this is a good start. Okay, this probably won't be used today. This is a little fly popper, little bug surface lure here. I don't have the fly rod today, so this won't be part of the day, I don't think. But I could definitely use that with the fly rod at a later date, so not totally useless or anything. Okay, here's another item in here, just a little bobber. Actually, this is a pretty big bobber, a little bigger than I really like to use. This is a maybe. This is a maybe. This looks like a bait rig of some kind. They're calling it a crappie rig. 2-aught hook. That's pretty big for a crappie to me. I mean, if you're on a big lake, this sort of makes sense, but probably not going to fish with this today. So far, I'm only really liking the jig heads. Okay, this is the last item. Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, look at these. These are also just huge. These are really big hooks to me, guys. I mean, sure, you could catch a crappie with this, but yeah, I'm mostly interested in these. I'll try to use these today. This will be kind of the first thing we try. Maybe we'll do the bobber as well, if we find you know, an area where there seems to be a concentration of fish. That's kind of the goal today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll talk a little bit more about kind of the approach that I'm going to try to have today, targeting some panfish. So this is the rig that's using the stuff from that mystery bag. Kind of disappointing selection, to be honest, guys. I mean, some of the hooks in there were just ridiculously big. I mean, I guess if you were you know, fishing on a big reservoir for crappie, those would make sense, but doesn't really work for what I'm doing. But we've got that cheap bobber. Don't like it very much. It slides down the line too easily. And then we're using that jig head, like I said, I think a 1/32 ounce. And we just have this black and blue grub body as our trailer here. But let's make a few casts, see how far we can get this thing over there and get it in kind of the range. Oh yeah, no problem at all. Oh, we had a hit, guys. We definitely did. That's a good sign. On the bait finesse setup here, I've got a little jig spinner, you know, smaller, pretty tiny little Colorado blade, something pretty subtle, and a 1/8 ounce jig head with a pretty small hook, and then a Eurotackle Fat Assassin in green pumpkin as our trailer. You know, we do have some wind today, and it's been kind of on and off cloudy, so this is just something we can cast and retrieve, cover a lot of water. Hopefully something will be convinced to strike this thing. There's a fish. All right. It's a little bass, guys. Not the target species today, but I'm not surprised to kind of catch one on this little jig spinner. There he is, guys. He's pretty small. That's like a 8-inch fish, 9-inch fish. Let's let him go. Thank you, little buddy. Oh, how'd that fish not get hooked? Been having kind of short strikes. There's a fish. Ah, dang it. I think the hook is too small. Maybe we need to cut this down, this bait, a little bit. Make a couple more casts. If we keep missing fish, then we're going to cut it down. There's a fish, guys. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, that's not the target species, but that is a decent bass. I mean, he's not big, but least he gave a jump for us. That's like a 9.5, 10-inch fish. A little bit bigger than the last bass that we caught. All right, not particularly healthy looking fish. He's a bit skinny, but I'll take it. I'll take it, guys, on the BFS setup. Thank you, buddy. Alright guys, still using that 1/32 ounce jig from the bag, the mystery bag, just with that Fat Assassin. There we go, guys. Here's another species for the day. This might be what's been doing a lot of the short strikes. It's a little yellow perch, guys. Not very big, obviously. Maybe 5 inches. But they are kind of lazy hitters, these perch, sometimes. They do like to kind of peck at stuff and not get hooked, so. Hey, it's another fish. You know, we downsized, we cut down that Fat Assassin, and that's how we got that one to hook up. So we're having to do some pretty finesse techniques today. Pretty finesse strategies, you know, cutting down the size of the lure and stuff like that, but it's working. We're getting some bites. Oh. Whoa, buddy. This was a surprising catch here, guys. Wow. I was just about to take this off. Another small bass, probably 8-incher. Just some dinks out here today. I don't know what the deal is with this lake, but it just doesn't seem to have a lot of high quality fish. I mean, aside from that one bluegill, that was really the only decent one. Everything else has been kind of small. See you, buddy. Came up and took that Rapala near the surface. That was probably the most exciting strike that we've gotten. And yeah, maybe we'll leave this thing on for a little bit longer now. Oh, we just took something big. It's a big bass. It's a big bass. On BFS, guys. Oh, that's a good fish. It's a good bass. Oh my gosh. Oh, I gotta go down there and get him. Getting a little wet today. Getting a little wet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, guys. Guys, look at this fish. He went for that tiny little bait. Look at that, we just had him right in the side of the mouth. Perfect hook up there. It's not going anywhere easily. Guys, look at that fish. Oh, wow. That's a solid bass, guys. That's like a 2-pounder. I would guess maybe 2.5. Wow. That thing felt like a monster on the bait finesse setup, guys. That was awesome. This is an awesome fish. Beautiful. Let's get a picture with him. All right, guys, we just caught this beautiful bass on the bait finesse setup with a tiny little beetle spin, spinner bait, micro spinner bait. Gonna try to get down to the water here, give this guy a decent release. It's kind of hard when the water's so low. And I just dropped him. Sorry, buddy. There he goes. All right. Whew. Nice fish. Here's something. It's getting bigger. Oh. Oh. Yes, sir. Another good bluegill, guys. Another good one. It's not like a giant fish, but he's healthy. This little jig spinner is killing it, guys. There we go. All right, there's another panfish. That was kind of our goal today, right? Before we caught the 2.5-pound bass. Another one of about 6 inches, maybe 5.5. Similar to that first one. And these were probably about the size of the fish that I was seeing here last time. So I feel like we're starting to find some of those fish. All right, guys, there's another bluegill. Definitely having a much better time out here by downsizing our lures. I think we really learned kind of the key to fishing this place. Alright, guys, so I swapped over to this is a Charlie Brewer crappie slider in green pumpkin. Similar color, just a little bit different, a little bit bigger, and it's got a little tiny paddle tail behind it. So I don't know, this thing might just get a bunch of short strikes. Here's a fish. It's another perch. Pretty sure this is what keeps nipping at all the baits, guys. Slightly bigger maybe than the last one, but definitely quite small for a perch. You know, a perch of this size, this is going to be forage for that 2.5-pound bass that we caught earlier, basically, guys. So, something to remember here. Maybe try some perch patterns out here in the future. Thank you, little guy. There's something, guys. Yes, it feels good. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. That's the biggest bluegill of the day, guys. Biggest one of the day. That's a nice fish. That's a nice bluegill. Pretty. That's a male, most likely. Really dark. Probably 7 inches. Easily our nicest bluegill of the day. Pretty bluegill there. Nice. He smashed the crappie slider. Thank you, buddy. I'd like to catch a nicer perch, like a 10 to 12 incher. There's a fish. I think that's another bluegill, the way he's fighting. Nice, look at that. Look at him run. Look at this fish run, guys. They do fight well for their size. Some people think it's a fish for kids, but on ultralight, it's a lot of fun. Or a little fly rod setup. Here we go, guys. Maybe a 5-inch fish. Nice colors on this one. I think I'm probably a little bit early for the spawners. Whoa! Can you figure it out, fish? See if I can push him out. There he goes. You're all right, buddy. Here we go, guys. That's a bass. He smashed it. Dude. Oh man, we got him locked in. I mean, he hit it and took off. That's like a 10-inch fish. Not too bad. Guys, we have got these fish dialed in right now. Just throwing some little plastics on some ultralight, you know, in bait finesse gear. Nice. There's a fish. Man, he smashed it. It has to be a bass. Oh. Okay. Fourth species of the day, guys, is a crappie. Yes, sir. Well, there we go, guys. We caught the target species of our mystery bag officially with the jig head from the bag. So I think we definitely achieved our goal of at least, you know, getting that bag to help us. Most of the stuff in there really wasn't, you know, very good, but there we go, guys. Those jig heads definitely came in handy. It's a beautiful crappie. All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight for a crappie. Sometimes they don't fight much, but this one definitely did. Thank you, fish. All right, people, it is time to wrap things up here. Been out here for several hours. And we had a really good day out here, honestly. This is the best day of fishing I've had at this spot ever. And I think our idea of coming out here, downsizing our lures, you know, taking the ultralight and the BFS stuff out, leaving the regular gear at home, and just throwing those small lures was really the way to go. I think downsizing like that can make a difference when there's like a lot of pressure. You know, I've seen lots of people out here fishing today, more than I've ever seen before. Never saw anyone else catch anything, but they were mostly throwing kind of standard bass stuff. So I just think the fish in here are used to seeing kind of the standard size lures. You know, they've been caught before. The forage in here is smaller, and yeah, all those little baits worked really well today. That little jig spinner with the Eurotackle Fat Assassin. Our little mystery grab bag here was kind of a letdown, to be honest. I mean, it's only paying $3, so you're not expecting a whole lot, but great mix of species today. We definitely found some of the fish that I kind of had seen before. You know, those bluegill. We caught some decent bluegill in here. Caught a crappie, surprise crappie. I didn't know that there were crappie in this lake until today. You know, there are definitely bodies of water out there where just downsizing your presentation can make a huge difference, guys. And not just little lakes and ponds. I mean, big lakes too. You know, you can go behind somebody who's throwing regular lures, and if you're throwing some smaller stuff, you're gonna catch some fish that they missed. You know, we got the jig heads from this thing to work, so our kind of original goal of going out here, targeting panfish, using something from this bag, mission accomplished. But anyway, if you like this video, if you like this type of content, you know, multi-species fishing, ultralight, bait finesse, then you should definitely subscribe to the channel. We've got weekly fishing videos at Cross Country Bank Angler. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Peace. So last 10 minutes or so, just going to toss this little spoon here. This is the Thomas Eel spoon. Just something that I don't think the fish in here will have seen, a spoon. So thought, why not try it for a few minutes just for the heck of it. There we go. There we go. That's a bass. It's a good bass. Oh my goodness. Stop. You're caught, buddy. Oh man. Is that the first cast with it, guys? Is that the first cast with the spoon? I like it. Look at this fish. Look at him, guys. This is a nice, I'd say 2 pounds. Not quite as big as that other one. But wow, he smashed it. There are some nicer ones in here. We're learning that. All right. Glad we switched to that spoon. Another nice bass. Thank you, buddy. Let's get this guy back in the water. Beautiful fish. Nice.